views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
I would like to take this moment to point out our board members and acknowledge some of the folks that have joined us this evening. For the Friends of Pelham Bay, we have Deborah Y. Peter Quiñones. Nilka Martel. Clint Robinson, Samantha Halpern, and Amelia Zaino. We have many of our friends among us, so I don't want to miss anybody, but you get to meet them shortly. We also have, of course, our Parks Commissioner, Mitchell Silver. Thank you so much. Our Deputy Commissioner, Liam Kavanaugh, is also here. Our Bronx Borough Commissioner, Iris Rodriguez Rosa. Allison McKay, the Executive Director of the Bartow Pell Mansion Museum. We also have a friend and colleague. We have Thomas Messina. He's representing Congressman Crowley. Pelham Bay Park has wonderful family programs, beautiful forests and wetlands, a gorgeous beach, and so many amenities for the Bronxites to enjoy. As an advocacy group, the Friends feel very privileged to be working for the very best park in the whole Bronx, if not the city, one that we love so dearly. It is only fitting that we ask our New York City's Parks Commissioner, Mitchell Silver, to begin our festivities this evening. Commissioner Silver and Bronx Commissioner Iris Rodriguez Rosa has worked closely with Mayor de Blasio and Borough President Diaz, who will be joining us shortly, to bring attention and funding to our Bronx Riviera. In our partnership with New York City Parks, the Friends wants to do all we can to support these efforts. Please join me at the podium, Commissioner Silver.
Thank you, Marisol. Always like to get those big round of applause, and all I have to say is, Bronx Commissioner Iris Rodriguez Rosa. And the unofficial Bronx Commissioner, Nilka Martel. I always love these events because I can't tell you from the bottom of my heart how important volunteers are to keeping our parks thriving and healthy. Parks that have volunteer groups do better than those that don't. So you know, those of you that volunteer will live longer lives. You're happier, and this is true. According to Ruth Westheimer, who's on the board of the Fort Tryon Conservancy, she told me volunteers have better sex. So, ask her, it is true. I didn't make that up, it's true. So I am so happy to be here with all of you to celebrate such a special park, the largest park in New York City. So this year, we have something big to celebrate, the future of the restoration of the Orchard Beach Pavilion. The people of Bronx know that this restoration has been long overdue. And we have many people to thank to make this happen, including, who will be here shortly, the Borough President of the Bronx, Ruben Diaz Jr., Governor Cuomo, the New York State delegation, Mayor de Blasio. You can give them all a round of applause. And of course, this restoration would not have been happening without the Friends of Pelham Bay Park. You have all been a strong ally to New York City Parks since your founding 26 years ago. You help advocate for funding when we need to take on projects like the pavilion. And just 6 months ago, we together installed an adult fitness area and a small pond walk for children thanks to funds raised by the Friends. And to mention a project especially near and dear to my heart, you raise funds for beach wheelchairs at Orchard Beach, ensuring that people of all disabilities can enjoy the sand and the surf. And as Parks Commissioner, making our parks and beaches accessible to all is one of my top priorities. Friends sponsor many events, have become staples in Bronx, such as Earth Fest and the Native American Festival. And you also put on much-needed educational programs for children with special needs. And I can go on all night about the Friends' impact on Pelham Bay and the people of the Bronx, but there are raffles to be won. So thank you all for coming out to support this worthy cause and to give back to your community. I'd like to say that parks are not just for recreation, but they're also for mental health. These are places people go to feel alive, to connect with nature. And we're committed to caring for our public spaces because we know what being in green space does to the brain. Whether you're young or old, it makes us all feel alive. So you're here tonight to really support a special cause. Pelham Bay, the largest park in New York City, with thousands of acres of natural areas. When I see photographs of Pelham Bay, and I show photographs, and I challenge people, where do you think you are? When I tell them the Bronx, they say, no way. You all make that happen. Let's support the Friends of Pelham Bay and our parks. And with that, I thank you, and I turn it back over to Marisol. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. This year, the Friends decided to kick off our celebration of Orchard Beach by sponsoring another Facebook photo contest. This photo contest, the first year we did it, was so popular that they wanted us to bring it back. So the theme this year was Picture the Beach. It was a lot of fun, and we hope that everyone who participated or voted had as much fun as we did. I would like to ask our photo contest committee to please come up and announce our grand prize winner. Deborah Y., Jane Prossman, Barbara Dolinsky.
But we're not saying anything.
Okay.
Who's right for Jane? That was Jane.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah Y.
Yeah.
I'm a Friends member and one of the judges of our Picture the Beach photo contest, along with fellow members Barbara Dolenzik and Jane Brotzman. We work with Maria Luisa Cipriano of the Pelham Bay Park Administrative Office, who coordinated the contest for us. Beginning in January and ending this week, we rolled out 5 thematic categories featuring Orchard Beach and asked for photo entries. We received so many wonderful photographs, all broadening the way we see the beach and the park. We thank all the very talented contestants. The selection of winning photographs involved this panel of judges, as well as voting on Facebook, which brought in hundreds of our followers. In all, we chose 25 photographs, which will be on view at the City Island Nautical Museum in June. Tonight, we are presenting the winning photograph in each category. I hope you'll get a chance to look at them closely. They're actually against that wall under the brown sunburst clock. We also invited the winning photographers to join us. I ask that you please stand when I call your name. For the People at the Beach category, the winning photographer is Laura Stone. Laura? Laura? Oh, hi. Her photo is titled Tour de Bronx Reaches the Orchard Beach Promenade. For Scenic Vistas, the winning photographer is Jean Yan. Jean? Oh, Jean. For her photo titled Love and Prosperity. For wildlife, the photographer Robert Knapp won for the photo Eagle in a Snowstorm. Robert? Hi. For Infused by Bronx History, the winning photograph is Strength, also by Jean Yan. Jean, a bow. For the Seasons category, the winning photographer is Miriam Quinones. Miriam, right here. For her photo entitled A Fall Raining Day. Congratulations to all these gifted photographers. And now, I'm very pleased to announce the grand prize winner of our photo contest. It's Robert Knapp for Eagle in a Snowstorm. Come on up. Wow, great. Congratulations. Here we have a prize. Yeah. Here's his photo. Oh, there's a photo. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We can hold it up. You can hold it up, maybe. Everyone can see it. Yeah. Yeah.
And here's what we win.
Oh, and we have a package of
Yeah, put your
prizes
picture down.
for you. I don't want to get a photo back.
You can grab that, Brian.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great photo.
Good. Right.
Thank you all.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Robert. Woo-hoo! And a big thank you to Deborah, Barbara, and Jane. Now, if the Bronx Borough Commissioner Iris Rodriguez Rosa can please join me at the podium, we have a surprise honoree this evening.
Thank you, Marisol. Thank you so very much. For me, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you this evening. And I just wanted to say before we acknowledge this wonderful, distinguished person is to say, for me, it's a pleasure to work with a team of people here in the borough of the Bronx. And I think when I say thank you to Larry Scoons, our Chief of Operations for the borough of the Bronx, and of course your very own Mary Ann Anderson, who is your park administrator. So to tell you that all of you, and you all deserve a round of applause for being here this evening and for supporting Pelham Bay and Orchard Beach, all of you. So just to tell you, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Marisol, very much for all your dedicated commitment to Pelham Bay Park and to the community as well. Thank you so very much. It's a great pleasure for me to be here with you to celebrate the upcoming restoration of the Orchard Beach Pavilion. But first, of course, before we get to our very special honorees this evening, Marisol and I would like to give a very special honor to the Friends Past President, the Honorable Lisbeth Gonzalez. Liz, can you please join us here? When Liz joined the Friends more than a decade ago, she had a true love for the park and a burning desire to care for the place she loved and enjoyed most. She wrangled up many of her friends and families and colleagues and got them to form a Trails Committee to work alongside Pelham Bay Park staff to make a difference. That enthusiasm has grown to a 9-year stint as president of the Friends. It's a long time to serve as president for most. Under Liz's tenure, the Friends began core goals that continue today. They promote accessibility and accessible programming wherever possible. They protect and preserve Pelham Bay Park's natural resources, and they work hard to promote the park. They are advocates for its needs and foster a sense of community and stewardship. So we want to always say thank you, because there are many friends of groups here, I think this evening too, that also congratulate and celebrate the Honorable Liz Gonzalez.
So I just wanted to make a few remarks about Liz. So I met Lizbeth when I was working on the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the Pelham Bay Bridge. And even then, she showed her love for the park and the Bronx Equestrian Center, where she boarded her beloved horse. Liz immediately started talking about the trail work and the beautification projects that were underway at the park. She invited me to one of the Saturday trail days, and I was hooked. I grew to love the park and the tranquility that could be found while removing invasives and clearing trails. Who knew? Over the years, we've worked closely on improving the park, shared stories about our dogs and our respective families. It is not unusual to see her at the park with either Nemo or Rowan or both. Her pride for the park is always on her face, and she never hesitates to inform anyone at any given time about the park and the many wildlife found within. I will always be grateful to you for sharing your joy in the Pelham Bay Park. Please join me and Commissioner Rodriguez Rosa in thanking Liz for all she has done for the Friends and for Pelham Bay Park.
Oh my gosh! Oh, look at the pictures. Look, it's all these photographs. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, thank you.
And you'll be able to take this as a...
Flowers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Save you.
Oh my gosh. So, I wrote something because they warned me. But what am I going to do? Am I going to do an Obama and tear it up? Commissioner, all the people here are passionate about Pelham Bay Park and about all of Bronx parks. We know that Bronx parks, like all city parks, are the heart and soul and the lungs of the city and of our communities. When parks thrive, neighborhoods thrive. When parks thrive, businesses thrive. We all are better people for it, and we are healthy. We are healthy, we are wiser, and we're at peace. I was born in New York City, and I was thinking about it. I have always lived near a park. So I have all these little pictures, very little pictures, of me in Central Park because I was born in El Barrio, and our parents always took us to the park there. When we moved to the Lower East Side, I learned how to ride bike in the linear park that's by the FDR Drive. And we would walk to Battery Park and almost to Central Park, but we would walk everywhere because we grew up with a love for open space. People don't realize how much open space exists in New York City and how much wildlife exists in New York City. And that's another reason to protect our parks, because our parks are a sanctuary, an absolute sanctuary, not only for us, but for all of the four-leggeds and the winged creatures that live here. Parks too often find themselves on the short end of the budgetary stick. I'm sure that a lot of us here remember when parks were at the bottom of the barrel, when the budget cuts hit New York City real hard. Parks became dangerous. There were needles, there were used condoms, you name it. You didn't want to go near the parks. But you know what? People like us made a difference. People like us fought for the parks. People like us fought to prioritize the parks once again. And I believe that that is that commitment that brings us all here today. So I want to say that we need to keep parks on the front agenda, particularly when we talk about the needs of the special needs community, when we talk about the battle against obesity, and when we talk about the battle against stress that all of us experience in our personal lives as well as our professional lives. We have to fight to make sure that parks are always front and center as a free and cheap and available solution for anybody who wants to build some, some muscle or be buff or just to relax and play and enjoy. I want to, the commission, the borough president isn't here, but it is that partnership with the elected, with our elected leadership, as well as our partnership with community groups, community boards, concerned neighbors, parks groups. It's that partnership that pushes us all forward. And with respect to Orchard Beach, his seed money of, I don't know how many millions, but his seed money made the difference and provided motivation to other legislators to put up some bucks for our pavilion. So now, instead of having this decrepit, beautiful, structure, it's gonna come back. And it's gonna come back, and we're gonna have a voice in saying what's gonna be coming there. So I stepped down as president of Friends of Pelham Bay Park, knowing, fully confident that the leadership of Pelham Bay Park, headed by Marisol Halpern, will push Friends even farther into the future and farther in the, how would you say it, echelons of park advocacy. Everybody brings something different to the table, and that's always something that we have to keep in mind. Each of us brings something to the table. If you can't volunteer yourself, put your, so I can't raise money, but I can say you can put your money where your mouth is. Let's all fight for parks. Let's all make sure that Pelham Bay Park and all Bronx parks, large and small, are here not only for us, but also for the 7th generation here to come. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just a few more minutes, folks. Again, thank you, Liz, for all that you do. And now for our honorees. I would like to ask our Friends Board member and Trails Committee Chairperson, Nilka Martel, to introduce our honoree, Michael Max Knobbe.
Thank you, Marisol. How's everyone feeling? You all look so great. There's so many people here. I think next year we're going to have to think of another venue. Please don't be mad, Split Rock. But thank you. Thank you for all of your support. It's so beautiful to see all of you here. It is my privilege to introduce a man who doesn't have just one name, but three names, Mr. Michael Max Knobbe. Can you please join us at the podium? As Executive Director of BronxNet for the past 16 years, Michael has been an innovative leader of the borough's public access television, providing hands-on television production training, equipment access, and channels for Bronx residents. You know, it's kind of hard when he's like looking over my shoulder, reading my notes. Like, really? Michael Max Knobbe, really? Under Michael's leadership, BronxNet award-winning programs keep Bronxites in touch with issues, neighborhoods, and communities. His passion and energy drive his commitment to his work and his love for the borough where he was born and raised. We all know Michael Max Knobbe's trademark, Stay Bronx Strong. I hope you trademarked that, because if you didn't, I'm gonna make millions off of it, just letting you know. He has inspired many in the borough to be creative, to be healthy, and love where they live. Michael's love for the Bronx is clearly reflected in Pelham Bay Park in Orchard Beach, which he has featured and promoted in numerous ways. He has thrown down with the best of them at the ball courts at Orchard Beach and braved the frigid February waters with his fellow polar bears. Have you guys been out to the polar bear event? Pretty intense, pretty intense. Thank you, Michael. That was his doing. Thank you so much. So Michael Max Knobbe, among your numerous and well-deserved awards, your Emmys and your recognitions, the Friends of Pelham Bay Park want you to take our special award to heart and know that we truly appreciate all that you've done for our beach, our park, and our borough. Thank you. Wow. And commissioners, if you can join.
Picture. Yeah, so tweet to your friends that you're here tonight. Friends of Pelham Bay Park is on Instagram and Twitter. Wow. Grazie, grazie mille, grazie bella Nilka. Hey, a round of applause for a superwoman, a Wonder Woman, a hero for the Bronx, protecting us from the east to the south, to the north, to the west. Nilka Martel. And, you know, friends of Pelham Bay Park, Commissioner Silver, Commissioner Iris Rosa Rodriguez, Administrator Anderson, Mr. Bronx Borough President Rosemary. It is such an honor to be here with you today at Pelham Split Rock and accept this recognition on behalf of BronxNet, the public service multimedia network of the people of the Bronx, our board of directors, our staff, our students, and the public we serve. And I have to say that this park, Pelham Bay Park, the biggest park in New York City, is part of what makes the Bronx so special. And the conservation work of Friends of Pelham Bay Park is vital. So thank you to the membership, the board of directors, the staff, Administrator Anderson and her teams, fellow Bronx Science alum and president of Friends of Pelham Bay Park, Marisol Halpern, for the vital work that you do. BronxNet is here to be a partner with you, whether you're with Friends of Pelham Bay Park, whether you are a student, whether you are with the Bronx Historical Society or the Bronx Chamber of Commerce, you're an educator, you're a school. We have high-impact experiential learning for students and services for the public and Emmy award-winning programming, connecting the Bronx to the world. And I am so proud to be here with folks that have supported this winter swim at Orchard Beach. How many people are down for this next February? And at this table right here, you know, it's for a good cause, guys. I just want you to know you can bring warm clothing items for the homeless and provide support for the tremendous services of a great organization in the Bronx, Bronx Works. They have homeless services. And that's why we go out in the cold at Orchard Beach each February. And right here we got Uptown Vinyl Supreme. They're the DJs for this great event. It's Silver Disco, Buddy, Sunny, and Rainy. And a pioneer of hip hop. That's right, a superhero for the people, advocating for health, the host of Grandmaster Fitness on BronxNet television. It is Grandmaster Melly Mel. So, you know, please enjoy the programming we share on BronxNet because it comes from the heart, the students, the staff, the teams. Look at the New York Emmy-nominated animated PSA series, public service announcements, animated by students that have trained at BronxNet, like Aria Feliciano, that, well, they celebrate Pelham Bay Park. There's at least 3 of these public service announcements that have been Emmy-recognized, industry-recognized, done by students at Lehman College that are now part of our professional team that are on BronxNet. And know that we are here to go on the bird, okay. No, you know what, I got it, it's all right. Hey, there's migration that happens in these parks. It is a place to explore, it is a place to enjoy. Let's enjoy this great borough together, this great city together. It is tremendous that this pavilion is being restored, and it is such an honor to be recognized alongside such a great champion for the Bronx and our city in our great Bronx Borough President, Ruben Diaz Jr. I would applaud that. And hey, you know what? Yes, Wakanda forever. But we did it first, right here in the Bronx. X is up, everybody. X is up. Keep Bronx strong. Para siempre. From the Bronx to the world. Thank you very much.
From the north to the south to the west to the east, we are expanding our services and upgrading technology at Lehman College. And now, Bronxites have an innovative media production facility in the East Bronx at Mercy College in the Hutch Metro Center. The windows on the East Bronx studio, a state-of-the-art control room, media labs for production and training, and other media-capable spaces. Training, workforce development, leading-edge technology, and programs that help you share your ideas, your voice, on your channels, locally and globally. Build media and technology skills at BronxNet, and build your dreams.
I now have the pleasure of introducing a man who needs no introduction. As the Bronx Borough President, Ruben Diaz Jr. has helped us improve and transform many Bronx parks, including Pelham Bay. Born and raised in the Bronx, he is in tune with the needs and the dreams of his fellow Bronxites. He is smooth. He knows how to dress. Shoes are always looking good. His speeches are always inspiring. And just let's say he is handsome and he's just a good-looking guy. But let's get back to the issue at hand. He and Commissioner Rodriguez Rosa regularly spends hours upon hours discussing ways to help Orchard Beach thrive. He has sponsored the summer concert series at Orchard Beach and has been known to do a little impromptu beatboxing from the stage. Perhaps we'll be lucky enough to get a little show tonight. Since Melly Mel is here, we'll see what happens. Today we're honoring him for spearheading the restoration of the historic Orchard Beach Pavilion. He was the first to allocate funding for the restoration, putting $10 million towards this project. And he eagerly encouraged other elected officials to follow suit. I can't even tell you how many times he called me personally to say, Commissioner, we got to make this happen. From the beginning, he has recognized how important this restoration is to the people of the Bronx. So along with the Friends of Pelham Bay Park, we'd like to present this award to the Bronx Borough President, Diaz, for spearheading the efforts to restore the Orchard Beach Pavilion. Borough President, please come up here to the podium and receive the award.
Where's my award?
Right here.
Oh. You gotta give me the award. You're like the president of the Friends of...
We got it. Step over here. We got to hold this.
So good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And I thought congestion was only in Manhattan. First of all, Commissioner, let me just thank you for not only that wonderful introduction, but for you, and to Iris, and to the entire Department of Parks team. Let's give them a strong round of applause for all the work that you do. You've not only cut a lot of ribbons, but you've cut the red tape. And when you look at parks now that have been financed throughout the borough of the Bronx, I don't know if many of you know this, but over the last 10 years, we've seen hundreds of millions of dollars of restoration to our public parks. And for that, we thank you, and the entire team. It's not easy. To all of you who are here tonight, who proclaim and who are friends of Pelham Bay Park, to Marisol, and all of the executive board members, thank you for this honor, but even more so, thank you for caring for the most beautiful and the largest park in all of New York City. Give yourselves a strong round of applause. To all of the honorees, Your Honor, and to Max, and to everyone, congratulations. I am humbled to be with such a great class of honorees and people who merit the recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, I won't belabor this. I just want to say that when you come from the Bronx, it's more than just an address. When you come from the Bronx, there's an attitude. When you come from the Bronx, I don't care if you're white, black, Latino, if you're tall or short, from the west to the south, east or west, there is a certain flavor. There's a certain style of speaking. There's a certain disposition. There's a culture here in the Bronx. And when we speak of Pelham Bay Park or Pelham Park, when you speak of Orchard Beach, certainly everyone in the Bronx has memories there. And yes, as the elected official, the right thing to do is to fund our parks. Yes, the right thing to do is to make sure that you honor Mother Nature. and afford our children and our future generations the amenities, the ability to go to parks. When I was a kid, I used to play in rubble in the South Bronx. So to me, this is really personal. To me, Orchard Beach and Pelham Park, I'm gonna tell you a story here. Don't tell my mother and father. In the 6th grade, I played hooky with the fellas. And we got on the 6 train to the last stop, and we walked through Pelham Park, through the woods, ended up in Orchard Beach, and then we started to jump off the rocks into the water. And I cut my foot in the rocks. And I didn't dare go straight home. This happened around 10:30 in the morning. I'm supposed to get home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon between the time you get out of school and the travels. I'm not recommending or condoning playing hooky. But it was one of those days in my life that I still remember very vividly. I went home and told a little fib to my parents and told them that I cut my foot getting off the bus, the 44 bus at the time on Westchester. To this day, every time I'm with the fellas in Orchard Beach, they tease me about that time I cut my foot and how I had to hop along the entire day until it was 4 o'clock. And then I went and got some sutures. Orchard Beach for me is a place where Mommy and Abuelita, we didn't have the coolers, or not just the coolers. If you're Puerto Rican at least, you had the giant pot of rice. You had a boombox. You had all kind of food and cousins, and the memories were amazing. Orchard Beach, the parking lot, is where I learned how to drive a car. Some of you did something else in your cars in the parking lot. The bottom line here is that like 3 summers ago, I go with my family and I cheated on the Bronx a little bit because it was for the first time that I went as a beachgoer to Coney Island. I've always went to Coney Island for the rides, but we went as beachgoers. And when I saw the restoration of Coney Island and the boardwalk, I was incensed. I was jealous. It did something to me. It shook me to the core. Because one of the things that happened to us growing up in the Bronx when times were bad